Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today I wanted to do kind of an educational video, and we're going to start with IAA, which is Insurance Auto Auctions Incorporated or Inc. And I want to show you guys what I kind of look for when I look at cars. So these are my vehicles, and for someone that doesn't buy vehicles often, or maybe this is your first time looking at all of this, like, what does it mean? What are you looking at? What should you be looking at? And this is what I kind of want to go over. So we're just gonna jump straight into it, and I'm gonna explain the IAA website to you guys, and hopefully you found this video helpful. So this right here is a 2001 Chevrolet Corvette. Vehicle information. So the first thing we're looking at is lane. This means that it will be in lane A, number 48. So this will be the 48th run and drive vehicle. I don't know the specifics of this auction, if they have two lanes or not, but depending on the size, like Texas or LA, they could have A, B, and C lanes. That means there are three lanes running at the same time, and this number will be different. So stock number is unique to each and every single vehicle. So if we go up here, I copied that stock number, we paste it in here, we hit search, it will find the car. Well, let's see if we modify the last two numbers, maybe we'll get a different car. Nope, nothing. So this is a unique number, and it's unique to this car. Oftentimes when I'm bidding on a car for someone, they will send me the stock number and I could find it right away. Next up is the selling branch, which is San Diego, California. We could find it right here, and if we actually click on it, it will load the auction itself. It will give us the address, it will give us the office hours, and the direct phone line or phone number to that auction. And here you will actually see nearby branches. This is self-explanatory. This is what's close to this one. And you have your manager. And if you actually scroll a little bit lower, these are the two closest upcoming auctions, and you could click on them and they will load every single vehicle that they're selling on this date. And again, up here you'll have the general auction information. But these are the vehicles they have. Next up is the VIN. And here you see the full VIN number, and then the status you see here. OK means that this is a verified VIN. So when a vehicle was damaged, or like a replica vehicle or a one-off vehicle that was built in a garage, they get issued a replica or a different VIN that doesn't belong to a major manufacturer. So the status won't say OK. I don't remember what it will say. It will be something different. Not a big deal to look at unless you're looking at a 2018 Corvette and then this doesn't say OK. I would kind of question that at that point. Was the body transferred to the frame, or what the reasoning behind it is? Here's the loss. This is the main one you want to look at. This says collision, and primary damage shows as front end. Sometimes they will also show secondary damage, and it could say, front end is the primary damage, and side or rear end is going to be the secondary damage. Here's your title and sale documents, salvage certificate by the state of California. Depending on the state, it might not say salvage certificate. The one thing you always want to look for is if a vehicle shows, sometimes you'll see bill of sale, Colorado, and then the title, sale document, brand is parts only, meaning that this vehicle cannot be titled and registered to use on the road. And then we have Washington, which is also bill of sale Washington, but it doesn't have any title brands saying you can't register this. So I think there's 2 or 3 states in the United States that sell vehicles on a bill of sale always when insurance is totaling the vehicle out, and you can register these cars. It might take a little bit more than having a physical title in hand, but I have personally bought and sold, I don't know, 100, 150 cars out of Seattle on a bill of sale. But the Colorado example I just showed you guys, that one you cannot title. So it's a parts only car. So do not make the mistake of buying something like that. One of the most important things I look for in any car is this. I want to make sure it's a run and drive, and I want to make sure that the keys are present. Sometimes, and I've bought cars before that said run and drive with keys missing and the ignition was busted, and I started the car with a screwdriver. So this is something you have to look for. Another code that will show up here instead of run and drive is something like this: cannot test start, and you can see key fob missing, so it has no keys and therefore they cannot test start this vehicle. The other option it will say is starts. That means the vehicle starts, but either it has suspension damage or it doesn't go into gear. For whatever reason, the car starts, but it does not run and drive under its own power. Back to the Corvette. Next up we have is the odometer. Here's what it's showing us. And the not required exempt, I've had people ask me about it and they're kind of worried about it. IAA and Copart, for the most part, as soon as the odometer hits 100,000 miles, they put not required or exempt. They do this for their own liability and safety. They do not guarantee that the mileage is accurate. On newer vehicles with lower miles, you will see something like this: 12,000 miles, and it says actual. This means that more or less they guarantee that the miles on this vehicle are actual. There is no possibility of odometer rollback, but as always, do your due diligence and do your own research. Make sure that the car is good to buy before you bid on it. This one here is another very important one because not all pictures will show you the full cabin. This is another one you want to look at. They will tell you if airbags are deployed. This one, all airbags are intact. And we could see here that we don't see any airbags that have been deployed. But pay very close attention to this, almost as much as this one, because I've looked at a car and I was like, oh, sweet, no airbags deployed. And then I look here and it says deployed. And I go back through the pictures and you could see like a small white strip right here in the corner where the airbag deployed, and they tucked it up so you can't see it. This last one on this or in this block section is the vehicle wheels. So it basically gives you very basic information of what type of wheels it has. I really honestly don't pay attention to this one pretty much at all. I haven't really found it useful. Next up is the bid information. So here we have the current bid, which is $450 for this vehicle, and my max bid of $100. I honestly only placed a bid on this car just to see how much it sells for. This was added fairly recently within the last year or so, and it gives you exactly how much you will pay with your account. So if I win this vehicle for $2,500 when you bid, my estimated final cost will be $3,008, and here's the breakout that it will give you. Not every vehicle has a hazmat fee, so this is a California, I think, only, if I'm not mistaken. And then you could use something like this, so we'll do the Portland zip code. Personally, I would never use them because the shipping, transportation code 1,221. You could find someone for around $700. I would highly suggest never use this unless you're in a pickle and you absolutely don't know anyone to ship the car. Honestly, just find a broker. So find some kind of logistics company. They will do it for a lot cheaper than $1,221. Let's do a different car just so that we're not stuck on one Corvette. This is a nice McLaren in Eugene, which isn't too far from us. So next up, we have this section, who can bid? And if it has a green check mark, you can bid on the vehicle, especially if you are public. This is very important. If you are a dealer, more or less, you don't have any restrictions, but for public buyers, this is something you could bid on. All bids are in $25 increments, so this is very basic info. And then when you click on that, this is licensed buyers, meaning dealers or people with a dealer's account. So you could take a look at those, but you could just use the calculator, cost calculator. It will be pretty darn accurate. Next vehicle, next section. Quickly show you guys this one. Gated, 6-speed, beautiful. And damage honestly doesn't even look that bad. But we're moving on to the vehicle description. So again, you get presented with the VIN number here. And again, you have the status. Vehicle, tell you automobile. If you have a motorcycle, it will state it as such. As far as I know, this VIN info gets pulled from a database. So once you put in the VIN, it populates all of this automatically. And this is what the manufacturer provided, I guess, at the time of manufacturing this vehicle. So you have the engine, 5.0 liter, manual transmission, drive line, fuel line. I think these three are the ones I would kind of pay attention to, just because you could have a manual or automatic transmission. And sometimes the way they take pictures is very awkward and you can't really tell. But I have seen where they said automatic transmission and it was clearly, a manual transmission car. So you want to pay attention and cross-reference the picture to what it's saying here. Driveline, if you're looking at a pickup truck, you want to make sure it's 4x4 or rear wheel drive if that's what you're looking for, and the fuel type. You don't want to buy a Jetta thinking it's a gasoline Jetta and it arrives and it's a diesel, if it's not your thing. If you click this section right here, this is a very, very awesome section. So this will give you like really, really detailed info on the vehicle. So I'm quickly going through it, but just find any random vehicle on the website and click on additional info and it will tell you, tire size, the wheel material, here's the horsepower and torque that this engine makes. Really, really, really cool. I really like this. And we are moving on to the last section, or last section. So sale information. This is also a very, very important section for me for this reason. I am looking at the seller. So the fact that this car doesn't show a seller means that it is not an insurance company. This could be a private sale, a dismantler, this could be a dealer. It is not an insurance selling this car. And with that, I say take it with a grain of salt, because there's a lot of people out there, dealers and just private party, that want to unload cars with major hidden issues at auctions like these. So the reason why I use IAAI a lot is because I buy from insurance companies almost exclusively. And when I see something like this, seller, and it's missing, I am not interested in this car. And unfortunately, last week, I didn't catch this because this car was sent to me by my brother, and I almost won this car. So this week, I am not playing it solely for this reason. So a few other sections here: selling branch, Fontana, vehicle location. This one isn't a big issue. It could be offsite, but it'll tell you the address here. So pay attention to it, but it's not a huge deal. Auction date and time, and it tells you this is Central Time, 11:30. Where I am, auction starts at 9:30 local time. Lane item available 2 days before the sale. This will basically give you, because they always move the cars around. So the very first car we looked at, the Corvette, it told us which lane and run number it had. This one doesn't have it because, let's see when this car is playing. October 24th, so in basically 4 days and 12 hours is when the live bidding is going to start. And it has not been assigned a lane and run number. This is important when you go look at the car in person. You want to know where the vehicle is located so you can find it easier. Actual cash value is what they valued it at before the sale. This is written by the seller. This is not written by Insurance Auto Auction. So technically the seller could have put $5 million. I don't know if they'd actually put that price, but realistically, the seller could have put $67,000 is what this vehicle is valued at before the accident. I don't look at this number ever. I am not interested in it. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm moving on to another vehicle. I'm going to jump around a little bit, but see here it says custom wheels. So, I mean, you could clearly see that they're not stock, but if this is something interesting to you, this is where you could find that info. But what I wanted to show is the estimated repair costs. So here it shows almost 55,000. But honestly, this is another number that I really don't look at and I don't care much for at all. These two numbers I actually very rarely look at. Here's another one where the seller is Geico, title documents, bill of sale, and then it says parts only, no title. This is another car that you cannot register and legally drive. This car will need to be parted out. A few more things before we end this video is storage fee is $40. I believe this is true for every single auction. You can read all of these rules, the times and whatnot, the run numbers and what they kind of mean. But the one thing I wanted to bring up is days to pick up. IAAI is notorious for only giving you 2 business days to pick up the car. And if you won the car on, say, I don't know, Wednesday, you have until Friday to pick it up. If you don't pick it up on Friday or by Friday, you are going to pay storage fees for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's $120. They are not open on Saturdays and Sundays. So $80 out the door right there. So be very mindful when you buy the car. And see, it says here, number of free storage days, day vehicle was awarded plus 2 days. So if you want it on Wednesday, you have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to pick it up. I have been, I don't want to say screwed, but I have made the mistake with this before. Highly, highly, highly suggest at least have someone to pick up the vehicle if you're buying out of state in mind before you buy it, because the storage fees add up really, really quickly. And final thing, we are looking at the Portland location. Just for this video, this right here shows that public buyers can bid on this vehicle, and Portland is a public location. I would say 95% of the vehicles are open to the public, but this is the one you want to look for. This is a run and drive. I look at vehicles that have this. Here's the other one that says starts. So let's actually open it up, see what the damage is. So the vehicle starts. It could be that it's scraping and they don't want to list it as a run and drive, or it could have some kind of hidden issue that we don't know about, where the transmission isn't going into gear, whatever the case is. But when you're looking at vehicles, if you only want run and drive, this green button, well, not really a button, but emblem sign pops up really, really quickly. It's very vibrant, and you could clearly see which vehicles are run and drive. So those are the ones you could look for. This thing is pretty cool, but pretty darn busted. Here's another one, start code, vehicle won't start even though keys are present. This could be that they can't get to the battery, or it really does just have some kind of, major issue with it. And lastly, guys, thank you so much for joining this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. If you are interested in buying vehicles from Copart, I also have a video for that basically goes through the website, kind of shows you things that I look for. And you guys could definitely check that video out. But for this video, this is it. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe if you are not yet a subscriber. Thanks, guys.